we got put out in front of us today. And again, thank everybody for coming. Thanks for the shouts. Everybody getting on. We're going to do some marching today too. And it's going to be all about equality, justice, and your fair share. That's the American way. So we're asking for the corporations to start giving their fair share of the taxes that they ain't paying. That can help us start reopening schools.
The Week on Green 960.
And now, Sebastian Kunz.
Another big protest demonstrating this week against service cuts to everything from care for kids to care for the disabled, while corporations keep sliding by with tax loopholes.
When Burger King buys property, they don't have to have their property taxes reassessed. They pay property taxes that are a fraction of what individual families pay. Right here around us in this 6 blocks, we have $3 billion that we could have had for California, for our health and human services. $3 billion? First, $3 billion with a B, as in billion.
On Thursday, one of the protesters on hand was Chris Finn, on the board of directors also for Community Resources for Independent Living. And he says these cuts target the most vulnerable, the kids, the elderly, the disabled, and it's only getting worse.
And the message is going to the governor, to our Senate, and to our assembly members to make sure that they know that people with disabilities, parents, children, and the elderly need these services, and there are other ways to make the cuts or to make revenue in order to get the money for the state.
Finn says it's important to note the cuts being made will ultimately cost more in the long run. Meanwhile, the protesters say corporations like Wells Fargo, Burger King, Chevron, and even the Bay Area's own Apple get tax breaks and bonuses from the government.
Apple is one of the companies that advocates for the $2 billion tax break that corporations got last year. Does anybody remember last year in the budget when we cut Medi-Cal optional benefits, when we told people they couldn't go to the dentist? Yeah. Well, big corporations got a $2 billion tax break. Yeah.
We actually covered that last year. Hundreds of children, elderly, and disabled people on Thursday marched through Union Square with their caregivers, stopping in front of many stores they identified who get corporate tax breaks.
My name is Chris Finn, and I'm on the board of directors for Community Resources for Independent Living.
Great. So talk about why we're out here today, and who's the message being sent to?
We're out here today to advocate for people with disabilities, seniors, and children who receive services that are run by the state. And we're out here because those services are being cut. And millions of people will be affected by these cuts. And the message is going to the governor, to our Senate, and to our assembly members to make sure that they know that people with disabilities, parents, children, and the elderly need these services. And there are other ways to make the cuts or to make revenue in order to get the money for the state.
This is actually the second or third such protest I've done about this. You know, in-home healthcare services were cut last year too. I mean, it seems like it's getting worse and worse every year. Is that how you guys sort of see it?
Oh, it is. And it seems like the governor and other people are going after the people who are most vulnerable and need these services the most. And it's only going to get worse. Not only are people with disabilities like myself going to be going into nursing homes, which is going to more than double the cost towards the state and the federal government, but people who help us, and like those workers, the in-home supportive services workers, over 300,000 jobs are going to be lost if all those cuts are made.
And it seems like it's a continuous process. What do you think the solution is? What's the answer moving forward? How do we fix this?
Well, one answer is we keep supporting the people with disabilities, we keep supporting the elder, we keep supporting the children who are the future, and there are solutions out there such as taking away loopholes for the corporations, taxing the oil corporations for drilling for the oil, it's crazy that they want to bring more and more oil drilling. It's no wonder, because there's no taxes and there's more revenue for the oil companies. So there are a lot of different ways to get more revenue into the state that our government is not looking at able and doing.
They're always voting themselves pay raises and stuff like that.
I wish I could get a pay raise for what I do, and people with disabilities and seniors and children, we're out there and we want to live. That's all we want to do. If you make these cuts, you're taking away our lives, basically. You're putting us into nursing homes, and that's one more step into the grave, as far as I'm concerned.
Chris, thank you very much for your time on Green 960. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck today, okay?